Hey there YouTube, this is 11 Bronson back here again. Took a little break, I had a little dinner since the last video. It's still the same day, it's now actually well, almost nighttime. That's about 7 in the evening. Well, you know, not almost nighttime, but it's a little later on in the day. I don't think I'm gonna be actually, this is my last video I'll do today. I'll do some stuff tomorrow, like some live streams for the gaming and more DVD and movie stuff. So now we're going to talk about my Jean-Claude Van Damme DVD / Blu-ray collection. So I have quite a few. So let's just start right away. First of all, it's like a little mini box set of 5 movies: Nowhere to Run, Street Fighter, Double Team, Knockoff, and Assassination Games. Favorite is Nowhere to Run. That's actually one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Street Fighter is kind of a guilty pleasure, I guess. It's never been a favorite, but it's a guilty pleasure. It's not, I don't think it's nearly as bad as a lot of other people make it out. I mean, I do recognize that it's not a particularly great or good movie, but you know, guilty pleasure, like I said. Double Team I like. Knockoff is probably my least favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, and that's in huge part thanks to Rob Schneider being in it, and I'm just not a fan of Rob Schneider, I'm sorry. And Assassination Games, I've only seen it once. I thought it was okay. From what I remember of it, I thought it was okay. Next up is actually quite a new Van Damme movie, co-starring Dolph Lundgren. Well, I say co-starring, but he's actually in the movie for what? 5 minutes? 10 minutes tops? I didn't really like it. I've only watched it once. Yeah, cannot really say too much about it, but from what I remember, I didn't really like it. I felt a little deceived because Dolph Lundgren isn't nearly enough in it as I remember, as they make it out. You know, he's double billed and everything, but yeah. Next up, probably my favorite or my second favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Bloodsport. I freaking love this movie. It's either this one or Kickboxer. That's my favorite. One of the two, Bloodsport or Kickboxer. It's one of the two. So yeah, nothing else to say. It's my favorite or second favorite Van Damme movie. Next up is The Bouncer on Blu-ray. This is one of his latest ones. From Germany I got this Blu-ray. I haven't seen it yet because I wanted to. I popped it in the Blu-ray player and then I discovered that this is one of the only German Blu-rays that I have, or that I came across, that doesn't have an English audio track. I can only watch it in German or French. Now I don't speak French and I do speak German. Ein kleines bisschen, ne? But I would really prefer to watch a Van Damme movie in English, because no matter how good you dub people, you can never really dub Van Damme, and the part of the guy's charm is his accent, right? And in the German dub, so I haven't watched it yet. I really, I'm gonna get a different version of this movie. I want it with the English audio track, yeah. So I can't comment on it. Can't comment on this one though. Cyborg. Another cheap 80s action movie from Canon Films. You know, from the creators of Death Wish 3 and 4 and 2, and they didn't do 5. Okay, no, but they did movies like with Chuck Norris, like Invasion USA and the Delta Force. You know, I love Canon Films. This one I thought was, I don't know. I kind of liked it, but there were also some parts of it that I was like, this is not really that good. It's not that long. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. I don't think it reaches the hour and a half mark. So it's not a particularly long film or boring, but there was just, I don't know, some editing problems and stuff. I'd say check it out for yourself. That's all I can say, really. Next up is, again from Germany, the Blu-ray with an English audio track. Death Warrant. One of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I think I'm going to be saying that for quite a few movies. As opposed to if I do my Steven Seagal DVD collection, you're going to be hearing a lot of this is a crappy movie with Steven Seagal, but with Van Damme, usually 90% of his stuff I really like. So yeah, great movie. He's in a prison. It's kind of like Stallone's Lock Up, or Tango and Cash, or Escape Plan. It's one of those prison movies. He's in prison investigating some murders. I think it's pretty good. Again, from the Cannon Group, I believe. Next up, a movie that I have twice. Double Impact, DVD and Blu-ray. I hate this DVD cover for Double Impact because it makes it look like another martial arts movie. Much prefer the poster art from Double Impact that they use for the Blu-ray. Anyway, the film itself I absolutely love. Same can be said for this movie, Hard Target. I really have to get this one on Blu-ray, but this is, again, top 10 Jean-Claude Van Damme. Don't you guys hate that when there's a sneeze coming out and it's like there it is, when it like doesn't want to come? That's annoying, right? No, but definitely top 10 Van Damme material. I love Hard Target. I say check it out for yourself, but it's a great film, great action movie. Next up, a straight to DVD film, The Hardcore, co-starring Vivica A. Fox, which you might recognize her from Kill Bill Volume 1. As for Nina Green, again, I'm a Tarantino fan, so that's cool. As far as straight to DVD movies go, I thought it was decent. Not one of Van Damme's best, let's put it that way. This one is, though, JCVD, where he plays himself. Yeah, this was there when I got it. This I got from an uncle of mine, actually. I don't know why he made a little X there or whatever it is, but yeah, it's the DVD of JCVD. Great movie, I say check it out. Definitely recommend it. Kickboxer on DVD. And Kickboxer on Blu-ray. Like I said, it's either this one or Bloodsport that are competing for favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie of mine. So I love Kickboxer. I'm kind of in the mood to watch it now. But next up, one of his first straight to DVD movies, if not his first, Legionnaire, which is actually which is actually from the director of Rambo 3, Peter McDonald. I thought it was okay, actually. I thought Legionnaire, I had a good time with the movie. I thought it was pretty decent. Next up, Maximum Risk, co-starring Natasha Natasha something. I don't know her from anything else. So. I thought it was okay, but it's kind of like in a lower tier of Van Damme films for me. I didn't think it was like, I don't know, it was like okay, decent. Next up, another one of his straight to DVD movies, and a great edition. Once again, thanks to Germany. This is like a media book version of The Order. Yeah, a straight to DVD film of Van Damme has like a really cool special edition media book thingy with like, it has a DVD and a Blu-ray. Yeah, you see it has like this media book thing with like, it's like a mini booklet inside the it's in German, but like I said, I do know a little German, so yeah. Brian Thompson from one of my favorite Stallone movies, Cobra, is in it. He's right there, Brian Thompson. I like this movie. For a straight to DVD movie, it's a pretty decent one. Next up, Jean-Claude Van Damme's directorial debut, The Quest, with the late great Roger Moore, who was my favorite James Bond. And don't worry, we're gonna get to James Bond. They use a picture from Bloodsport there. I always thought that was weird. A lot of people hate this movie. I kind of like it, particularly because Roger Moore is in it, and Roger Moore is my favorite James Bond actor, like I said. And I know he didn't really look back fondly on making the movie, Roger Moore that is, but I thought this was a pretty good movie actually. Next up is another straight to DVD one, Replicant, or The Replicant, yeah, it's The Replicant. Michael Rooker is in this movie. I like Michael Rooker. He was in Cliffhanger. Most of the young folks will know him from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I thought this again was a pretty decent straight to DVD film. Van Damme certainly has a better track record on straight to DVD movies, you know, compared to people like Steven Seagal. Even Dolph Lundgren has a better track record, and we're gonna get to Dolph too. I've got a few movies of him too. Next up, Sudden Death. Die Hard in a ice hockey arena. Probably one of the only ones, if not the only one, of these so-called Die Hard clones that I don't really enjoy. I don't know, I think this movie has pacing issues. It runs a little too long for me. It didn't quite do it for me. It wasn't. I didn't really dig this one that much. This one I did though. Time Cop, Van Damme's highest grossing film that he did. There's never enough time. Just like there's never enough Jean-Claude Van Damme. And no, seriously, I fucking love Time Cop. You know, taught us one of the most important rules of time travel. Same matter can't occupy same space in the same time. Which is totally, I think it has been proven that you know, it's just fantasy talk for the movie, but you know, it's a sci-fi action film. What do you want? You know, you gotta have some stupid stuff with sci-fi. You know. Next up, another sci-fi action movie, Universal Soldier, co-starring Dolph Lundgren. This is again one of my favorite Van Damme movies, definitely in the top 10 probably. I love Universal Soldier. Next up, oh yes, yeah, I have this. Until Death, another straight to DVD film. Next to Wake of Death, which is the next one that's coming up. I also have the Blu-ray, by the way, in this double pack with Dolph Lundgren's The Defender. Right next to Wake of Death, probably my favorite straight to DVD film that he did. Until Death or Wake of Death, those two, just like with Bloodsport and Kickboxer. These two, Until Death and Wake of Death, they compete for like the best straight to DVD film of Van Damme. Next up is Wake of Death. Yeah, so Until Death I really like, and this one I also really like, so yeah, it's this one or the other one that's best straight to DVD material that he put out. Next up, his most recent film as of yet, as of recording this, We Die Young, from Germany, this time with a English audio track. Believe me, since that Bouncer incident, I've been really looking at all the DVDs or Blu-rays before I buy them if they have an English audio track now. Probably one of the worst Van Damme movies. It's up there with Knockoff. Did not really like this one. And last up, hey, the last one already. Wrong Bet, otherwise known as AWOL, Absent Without Leave. Absent Without Leave, yeah, that's it, right? AWOL, yeah. Anyway, AWOL. And most famously, and my favorite title for it, Lionheart, again, one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movies too. There you go. So those are all my Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. I kind of grew up with him. I kind of watched his stuff before I got into like Sly and Arnold, you know, Schwarzenegger, Lal. And like before I got into Steven Seagal and stuff and other action heroes, action movies. I saw like movies like Bloodsport and Kickboxer when I was like a really young impressionable kid, and I was going around like, wow, you know, kicking, making, you know, those Van Damme thingies at school, you know. I remember that fondly. I wasn't kicking kids, I was doing the kicks, but like in the movie, stopping right before you, like, you know, hit the person. Yeah, anyway, that's just a little anecdote that I have there. Yeah, so those are all my Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I haven't counted them, but I'd say there's pretty much, I think that pretty much all of them. Like, there's still movies that I need to get, like Inferno, which was actually directed by John G. Advolson, who was the director of Rocky, the original one, and Rocky 5. And Bill Conti did the music there, and I thought it was, I've seen it, I thought it was actually a pretty decent straight to DVD film. Yeah, definitely liked it better than like Knockoff or We Die Young. So yeah, what am I gonna do next? Well, since we're into these action guys still, you know, I want to do them before we get to people like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and Jack Nicholson. So we're going to do the action guys first, you know, the muscle-bound, you know, muscle-bound action heroes of the 80s and 90s. And I kind of want to say Steven Seagal next, but he was never really muscle-bound, and he certainly isn't today. And I'm not really that much of a fan of Steven Seagal anymore, but I do still have a pretty high number of his movies, and I think I'm going to share those next. And other than Steven Seagal, we also have Chuck Norris to cover and Dolph Lundgren. Who else do I have? Wait, I have Sly, Arnold, well, maybe Bruce Willis, but I don't have nearly as much Bruce Willis stuff as I would like to. I do have the Die Hards, of course, but anyway, next up is Steven Seagal, so join me then, and thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and so long for now.